Human beings have been very interested in the idea of aliens visiting Earth since we learned how big the universe is. These discoveries show that objects and maybe even beings from outer space have been on our planet much earlier than we thought. From a dagger made from a meteorite to a temple that looks like a spaceship, here are 20 objects that concern us because they may not be from this planet. Number 20. Puma Punku. The Gate of the Puma is a part of the larger Tiwanaku complex. It was left behind by the Tiwanaku civilization, which thrived between 500 and 1000 CE. This site was a hub of their empire, which extended across Bolivia, Peru, and Chile. At its peak, the Tiwanaku culture supported a population of up to 400,000 people in the region. Judging from what they left behind, it seems that these people had a great understanding of stonework, so much so that their creation seemed to be made with modern tools. The massive red sandstone and andesite blocks in the Pumapunku fit together perfectly without using mortar. Some of these stones weigh up to 131 metric tons and feature intricate cuts, perfectly drilled holes, and interlocking designs that modern engineers find challenging to replicate, even with advanced tools. These blocks fit together like a giant three-dimensional puzzle, indicating that the builders had a great understanding of geometry and they had enough skill to execute it. Some researchers simply suggested that the Tiwanaku people used advanced tools and techniques, possibly including stone hammers and grinding with sand and flat stones. However, with some of the stones having an uncanny resemblance to modern shapes, including that of a USB and Ethernet port, theories that extraterrestrial beings helped the Tiwanaku people also emerged. Could it be that the gods that Tiwanaku created these sites for were aliens who taught them things that were far advanced for their time? Well, we can only speculate. Number 19. Ubaid lizard men. In the early 20th century, British archaeologist Harry Reginald Hall discovered several figurines in the Ubaid archaeological site in Mesopotamia. These figurines were made after the likeness of half-lizard, half-human subjects, dating back from around 6,500 to 3,800 BC. No one truly knows what these figurines were made out of. After some of these lizard men were found in various postures and often adorned with helmets and shoulder padding, some even depict female figures holding reptilian infants. These unique characteristics have led some to speculate that they represent a non-human species, or even extraterrestrial beings. They possess elongated heads, almond-shaped eyes, and scaled skin, which have led to comparisons with modern depictions of reptilian aliens. Some theorists suggest that these artifacts could be evidence of an ancient reptilian race that interacted with early human civilizations. Critics, however, argue that these figurines are more likely symbolic or representational, rather than literal depictions of reptilian beings. However, there are people who continue to believe that the Ubaid lizard men represented aliens. The Ubaid culture itself was highly advanced for its time, with knowledge of agriculture, architecture, and irrigation systems. They paved streets, built significant structures, and laid the foundation for later civilizations such as the Sumerians. This fuels theories that the culture truly did receive help from creatures not from this planet. Number 18. Helicopter hieroglyphs. Unraveling the secrets of hieroglyphs advanced our understanding of ancient Egyptians. However, to this day, some hieroglyphic symbols continue to perplex us. The Temple of Seti I, located in Abydos, was built by Pharaoh Seti I and completed by his son Ramesses II around 1300 BCE. This magnificent structure was meant to honor the pharaohs and the gods of Egypt. However, within this temple are puzzling symbols. Among the traditional symbols, you can spot shapes that resemble a helicopter, a tank, and even a submarine. These carvings have fueled countless theories, from ancient aliens to time travelers visiting ancient Egypt. After all, how could the ancient Egyptians know how to illustrate modern aircraft? Some believe these helicopter hieroglyphs are simply the result of a phenomenon known as palimpsest in ancient Egypt. It was common to reuse stone blocks for inscriptions. This involved carving over existing hieroglyphs, and over time, the older carvings would erode partially, re-emerging and merging with the new ones. This would then show us a combination of the two symbols, which coincidentally look similar to modern machinery. Despite the rational explanations, the carvings continue to be among the alleged pieces of evidence showing that the ancient Egyptians truly interacted with extraterrestrials thousands of years ago. Number 17. Dogu. Around 14,000 to 400 BC, people in Japan created over 15,000 of these figurines known as the dogu. These figures range in appearance, with some resembling pregnant women, while others have large almond-shaped eyes, giving them a distinctive alien look. Many of them have large goggle-like eyes and other facial features that don't resemble any known human characteristics. This led to theories that these figurines were created according to the likeness of extraterrestrial visitors. Aside from their facial features, some researchers suggest that the figurine details, such as the appearance of helmets, bodysuits, and even what looks like breathing apparatuses, bear a striking resemblance to modern spacesuits. These features include sealed helmets with slit goggles and protrusions that could be interpreted as breathing filters or communication devices. However, some argue that the Dogu figurines are simply one of the many objects used in ritualistic practices by people during the Jomon period. At this time, shamanistic rituals were prominent in Japan. Even so, some continue to believe that the spirits the Japanese people at the time worshipped might have been extraterrestrial creatures who gave them a hand. Mere symbolism or a figurine created after the likeness of creatures not from this world, the Dogu figurines remain a mystery to this day. Number 16. Antikythera mechanism. The Antikythera mechanism is a complex assembly of gears and dials used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses decades in advance, or at least that's what archaeologists believe it to be. Ever since this artifact was discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of Antikythera, Greece, in 1901, researchers have been puzzled by its existence. You see, this old artifact is believed to be the first computer, but how does it work? The mechanism has quite an intricate design. It has over 30 interlocking gears, which allowed it to track the movements of the Sun, Moon, and possibly the 5 known planets of the time: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. This artifact is so advanced that several people began to believe that it's extraterrestrial in origin. This theory is largely fueled by the fact that such sophisticated technology was not thought to exist in ancient times. What's more, the precision and intricacy of the gears were beyond anything seen. In fact, it took an entire millennium before a creation just as impressive as the Antikythera mechanism was made. This led to theories that the Antikythera mechanism was created by extraterrestrial beings, or perhaps they had a hand in its creation. Number 15. Tutankhamun's sword. The young pharaoh Tutankhamun was revered by all of ancient Egypt. As a pharaoh, he was given the finest and most luxurious treasures to take with him on his journey to the afterlife. All of these were discovered by British archaeologists Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon in 1922. Among everything discovered in King Tut's tomb, the one thing that stood out the most was his dagger, simply because it was literally from out of this world. King Tutankhamun's dagger was made of iron, not just any iron, but one that fell from the sky. At the time of the ancient Egyptians, iron was something incredibly rare in the region, making the value of King Tut's dagger increase tenfold. Recent studies have confirmed this cosmic connection using advanced techniques like portable X-ray fluorescence spectrometry. Researchers identified that the dagger's blade was composed of iron, nickel, and cobalt, elements typically found in meteorites. The craftsmanship of the dagger is exceptional, featuring a gold hilt adorned with intricate patterns and precious stones like lapis lazuli, carnelian, and malachite. It is truly one of a kind. Some historians believe the dagger was crafted in Anatolia, now known as Turkey, and was presented to the young pharaoh as a gift, quite a valuable one at that. Number 14. Baghdad Battery. In the 1930s, several jars were discovered near modern-day Baghdad. These jars were made of clay, but something was unusual about them. They had a copper cylinder and an iron rod running within them. What's strange is that when filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or wine, they can produce a small amount of electricity, about 1 volt. With this, some believe that these jars are ancient batteries, but are they really what we think they are? The artifact's discovery is credited to Wilhelm Koenig, a German archaeologist and director of the National Museum of Iraq. However, the exact circumstances of its discovery remain unclear. Koenig suggested that these jars were ancient galvanic cells used, perhaps, for electroplating gold onto silver. However, today the purpose of these jars is believed to be to power ancient technology. Despite the compelling theory, skeptics argue against its practicality in a historical context. Number 13. Chile's alien petroglyphs. Valle del Encanto, or the Enchanted Valley, is located in the Limari province of Chile, near the town of Ovalle. This archaeological site is renowned for its numerous petroglyphs and stone carvings that date back to the pre-Columbian era. These petroglyphs, created by the Mall culture between 200 and 700 CE, depict a variety of figures, including animals, humans, and abstract shapes. Among the carvings are figures with large heads, oval eyes, and thin bodies, which bear a striking resemblance to modern depictions of gray aliens, the most popular and mainstream depiction of extraterrestrial beings. Some suggest that a long time ago, settlers in the region encountered extraterrestrial visitors and immortalized them through rock art. Number 12. Alien-looking parasite. This newly discovered wasp is among the most monstrous and fearsome creatures ever found on this planet. You see, this small being, part of the Zygon genus, has a particularly gruesome method of reproduction. The process begins when an adult female wasp lays its eggs on the abdomen of a social spider, specifically targeting the Anolosomus eximia species. Once the egg hatches, the larvae attach themselves to the spider and start feeding on its hemolymph, a fluid equivalent to blood in spiders and insects. The parasitic relationship doesn't end there. The larvae exert a mind control-like influence over the spider, forcing it to abandon its colony and spin a cocoon web. This web is not for the spider's protection but for the wasp larvae. After the spider completes the cocoon, it awaits its grim fate of being devoured by the larvae, which eventually transforms into an adult wasp and emerges from the cocoon, and then the cycle continues. Researchers hypothesize that the wasp might inject hormones into the spider, tricking it into thinking it's in a different stage of life, prompting it to leave the colony and create the protective web structure. Pretty terrifying insect, don't you think? Number 11. Spaceship Temple. In ancient Sanskrit texts, the term vimana often appears. It is said that vimanas are flying machines used by gods and heroes. These could soar the skies but also traverse outer space. That's a glaring similarity to modern spacecraft. For this reason, many believe that the ancient Indian texts really do describe a spacecraft, perhaps one that was created by extraterrestrial visitors. It's easy to dismiss vimanas as mythical objects. However, texts describing them are surprisingly detailed. Ancient texts suggest that vimanas use something called a mercury vortex engine, which might be an early concept of electric propulsion. This engine supposedly created a powerful gyroscopic effect using liquid mercury, allowing the vimana to achieve high speeds and incredible maneuverability. Descriptions even include detailed accounts of metals used in the construction, specific flying clothing for pilots, and even the types of food consumed on these crafts. Texts describe different types of vimanas, each designed for specific purposes. For instance, some vimanas were equipped with weapons capable of launching single projectiles charged with immense power, reminiscent of modern-day missile systems. Other vimanas had features for stealth, such as the ability to become invisible using a technique that involved harnessing atmospheric conditions to create a camouflage effect. These vimanas allegedly brought people from Earth to other planets, allowing them to interact with extraterrestrial beings. Could it be that vimanas are purely fictional, an exaggerated truth, or could they be considered pieces of evidence supporting the existence of aliens? Let me know what you think in the comments. Number 10.
Klerksdorp sphere.
Typically ranging in diameter from 0.20 to 3.94 inches, these small objects known as Klerksdorp spheres have been discovered by miners and rockhounds by the pyrophyllite mines near Ottosdal, South Africa. They might look unassuming, but to this day no one knows just exactly what they are. The Klerksdorp spheres are estimated to be around 2.8 billion years old, predating complex life on Earth. These objects are typically small and are composed of a mix of hematite and wollastonite. Strangely enough, most of these objects are perfectly circular in shape and have parallel grooves encircling them. Most scientists believe that the Klerksdorp spheres are natural formations that formed due to volcanic activity or sedimentary processes. Others, however, believe these objects are out-of-place artifacts that also serve as evidence of ancient advanced civilizations or even extraterrestrial activity. Despite the controversies, the Klerksdorp spheres continue to be enigmatic pieces. Number 9. Nanjing Belt. The Nanjing Belt is an ancient artifact discovered in 1952 in a tomb in Nanjing, China. Subsequent research revealed that it was made during the Jin dynasty from 265 to 420 CE. However, if this truly was the case, one thing was amiss. You see, the belt includes aluminum, a metal that was not supposed to be discovered or utilized until the 19th century. With this, the Nanjing Belt became an enigmatic discovery. The belt comprises various metal fragments, with aluminum being a significant component. Subsequent tests conducted at Tsinghua University in the late 1950s confirmed the presence of aluminum. Several theories have emerged to explain the presence of aluminum in the Nanjing Belt. Some researchers propose that it could be the result of modern contamination, possibly from grave robbers who might have inadvertently left aluminum fragments in the tomb. However, this theory lacks conclusive evidence. Another hypothesis suggests that ancient Chinese metallurgists might have accidentally discovered a way to extract aluminum using high-temperature furnaces, which they were known to operate. With no other way to explain the presence of the element, other theories began to emerge. Perhaps the Nanjing Belt was given by an advanced civilization not from our planet. Number 8. Atacama Skeleton. In 2003, researchers discovered this 6-inch skeleton in the Atacama Desert of Chile. These bizarre-looking remains were quickly nicknamed Atta, and ever since her discovery, she's been the subject of debate. Well, rather than she, Atta might be an it. Atta's skeletal features are strikingly different from typical human anatomy. The skeleton has an elongated cone-shaped skull, large eye sockets, and only 10 pairs of ribs instead of the usual 12. Its small stature and these anomalies led many to speculate that it could be of extraterrestrial origin. However, in 2013, a team of researchers led by Dr. Gary Nolan from Stanford University conducted a thorough genetic analysis of Ada's DNA. Their study revealed that Ada was indeed human but with several significant genetic mutations. These mutations affected genes related to skeletal development, causing Ada's unique physical traits. The genetic analysis indicated that Ada was a female of Chilean descent, and the DNA suggested that she lived relatively recently, possibly within the last 500 years. And yet, despite this conclusion, some people remain unconvinced that Ada truly was human. The unusual characteristics of the Atacama skeleton have continued to fuel speculation and conspiracy theories about alien life. Is Ada truly a human person, or was she born from beings that are not from this planet? Number 7. Baigong Pipes. In 1996, Bayou stumbled upon a triangular cave on Mount Baigong near Tuna Lake. Inside, he found a network of rust-colored metal pipes embedded in the walls, floors, and even protruding from the ground around the cave. These pipes vary in diameter, some as thin as a toothpick, while others are several centimeters wide. With their shape and their location, he believed that he had stumbled upon an ancient piping system, and so the mystery of the Baigong pipes began. Subsequent scientific analysis has revealed that the pipes are composed of iron oxide, silicon dioxide, and calcium oxide. However, about 8% of its composition remains unidentified. Moreover, some pipes have also shown signs of radiation, though not at harmful levels. This further fueled theories that the pipes were created by an ancient extraterrestrial group that once landed in the area thousands of years ago. However, there are also those who believe that the Baigong pipes weren't part of ancient extraterrestrial plumbing, but rather they're simply fossilized tree roots. Under specific geological conditions, tree roots can undergo a process called diagenesis, where organic material is replaced with minerals, forming iron-rich structures. This theory is supported by the presence of plant matter in structures resembling tree rings within the pipes. Despite the plausible natural explanation, some continue to suggest they're remnants of ancient advanced technology, possibly left by extraterrestrial visitors. This theory is fueled by the pipe's precise placement and the fact that they're found in a remote and inhospitable region, which would have been difficult for ancient humans to access. Number 6. Holy Stone from Outer Space. The Kaaba Black Stone, or Hajar Aswad, is a revered artifact embedded in the eastern corner of the Kaaba, the sacred structure at the center of Islam's most important mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. According to Islamic tradition, the Black Stone is believed to have been sent from paradise and has significant religious importance. This stone is greatly revered, and pilgrims from all around the globe have strived to touch or kiss the stone as an act of devotion. However, the origin of this holy artifact remains a mystery. In Islamic lore, it's said to have originally been a radiant white stone given to the prophet Abraham by the angel Gabriel, serving as a heavenly marker for the Kaaba's construction. Over centuries, the stone turned black due to the sins of humanity or the countless kisses from the faithful. The stone itself is a fragment of a larger object broken into pieces during various historical incidents, including a siege in 683 CE and theft by the Sarmatians in 930 CE. Today, the fragments are held together by a silver frame and measure about 20 centimeters by 16 centimeters. Despite the damage and its tumultuous history, the Black Stone continues to be a focal point of Muslim worship. However, others speculate that the Black Stone came from the heavens, another word for outer space. With no scientific studies allowed on the sacred stone, we're left to speculate about its true origins. Now it's time for today's topic. This concerning object is not from this planet. While exploring a remote region in Russia, an amateur archaeologist allegedly stumbled upon this disk. He claimed that it didn't look like it was something from this planet. It was massive and had strange markings on its surface, and rather than an ordinary artifact made by ancient settlers, it seemed like it was part of a primitive spacecraft. There was only one way to figure out what it truly was: excavate and study. He claimed that he went back to let his peers know what he found, but when they returned to the location, they found nothing but a barren site. No trace of the massive disk was discovered. A hoax? Or perhaps the disk was part of modern machinery misplaced by someone. But if this was the case, how did it end up in such an isolated area? The mystery of this disk remains. Number 5. Object of Iod. In 1974, a wedge-shaped object was discovered in Romania. This object, made of aluminum, was found along with 2 mastodon bones approximately 35 feet underground on the banks of the Mures River near Iod, hence its name. The mastodon bones date back around 11,000 years, which immediately raises questions about the artifact's origin. Did people learn how to use aluminum far earlier than we thought? Scientific analysis revealed that the wedge comprises 89% aluminum and contains other elements such as copper, zinc, lead, and nickel. Aluminum is a metal that requires high temperatures to refine, and it was not produced until the 19th century. Yet, the object's patina suggests it could be several hundred to thousands of years old, predating known aluminum production. Some ufologists and ancient astronaut theorists proposed that the wedge could be part of an alien spacecraft's landing gear. Another theory is that an ancient advanced civilization had the technology to produce aluminum. However, skeptics argue that the wedge is likely a modern object, possibly an excavator bucket tooth, which accidentally got buried alongside the ancient bones. What's strange is that while the object of Ayad is dismissed as nothing but a conspiracy, there are still many who believe that this object is a remnant of a UFO that visited our planet. Number 4. Treasure of Villena. In 1963, José María Soler Garcia discovered a treasure trove in the province of Alicante, Spain. Today it's known as the Treasure of Villena. This hoard includes 59 gold objects, 11 of which are intricately crafted bowls, and a few pieces made of silver and amber. The total weight of the treasure is nearly 10 kilograms, with 9 kilograms being 23.5 karat gold. Among these glittering items, researchers found two peculiar objects, a C-shaped bracelet and a hollow sphere, both made of iron sourced from a meteorite that fell to Earth about 1 million years ago. Now, using meteoric iron isn't something unusual. However, researchers are perplexed about how people at the time learned to work with meteoric iron. Did they simply adapt to the material available to them, or were they influenced by extraterrestrial visitors who might have shared advanced technologies with ancient civilizations? Well, we can only speculate. Number 3. Tiny alien corpse in Russia. In 2015, a mysterious and tiny creature was discovered on the banks of the river Kovanskoye near the town of Sosnovy Bor in Russia, with the town being near the Leningrad nuclear power plant. Countless theories immediately spread about this creature, now known as the alien of Sosnovy Bor. This creature, or rather this lump, has an elongated body, a distended skull, talon-like feet, and no apparent neck. Its appearance is strikingly similar to the xenomorph from a popular alien movie. Despite the locals trying to figure out just what this creature is, they're completely at a loss. Some believe that the body is simply a chicken embryo. However, this was shut down by researchers who claimed that they hadn't seen anything like this lump of flesh in the past. Russian biologist Yegor Zaydarev commented on the need for extensive studies to determine its origins, and the body was sent to Moscow for further analysis. Unfortunately, it seems like the findings are yet to reach the public. For this reason, the theory that these bizarre remains belong to a creature not from this world persists to this day. I must admit that this lump is eerily similar to a chicken embryo, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Number 2. Arrowhead made from meteorite. Recently, a rust-covered arrowhead was discovered along the shores of Lake Biel in Switzerland. It might look ordinary, but subsequent research revealed just how unique this arrowhead is. You see, it was revealed that this small arrowhead was extraterrestrial in origin. The arrowhead, measuring a mere 1.5 inches and weighing just 1/10 of an ounce, is thought to date back to the Bronze Age between 900 and 700 BC. Researchers found traces of birch pitch on it, which might have been the material to which it was originally attached. Now, what's bizarre is that scientists found traces of meteoric material in the arrowhead. They discovered that the arrowhead contained iron and nickel, a common combination in meteorites, along with traces of the radioactive isotope aluminum-26, which forms in the vacuum of space. Initially, it was believed that the iron came from the nearby Tannberg meteorite field. However, further analysis revealed that the iron used for the arrowhead likely came from a different meteorite impact site, possibly the Torpa meteorite in Estonia, which struck Earth around 1500 BC. Did people at the time know that the meteorite was valuable, or did extraterrestrial beings show and teach them methods on how to utilize the space rock? While the latter is nothing but a conspiracy, it's astounding to think that ancients knew that a piece of rock from the heavens would make a fine weapon. Did any of these discoveries convince you that aliens truly did visit our planet before? Perhaps you know other artifacts that are allegedly alien in origin. Comment them down below and let's keep the discussion going. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Number 1. Miniature coffins. In 1836, a group of boys exploring Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh stumbled upon 17 tiny coffins, each containing a small, eerie wooden figure inside. The coffins, each about 3.7 inches long, were intricately carved and contained figures dressed in custom-made clothes. Some of these figures had missing arms, suggesting they might have been repurposed from wooden soldiers made in the 1790s. The origin of these coffins has been a mystery since they were discovered. Who made them, what for, and why were they buried where they were found? One popular theory connects these coffins to the infamous Burke and Hare murders. Burke and Hare were notorious for murdering people and selling their bodies to medical schools for dissection. Some believe the 17 coffins might represent Burke and Hare's 17 victims. However, this theory doesn't really make much sense. After all, why would you keep a tangible trace of your crime, right? Some believe that the coffins could be a part of a witchcraft ritual, tying into Scotland's dark history of witch trials. Alternatively, they might simply be a harmless doll created to honor people who perished away from their homes. Despite extensive research, the true purpose of these coffins remains shrouded in mystery. They now reside in the National Museum of Scotland, where many continue to speculate about their true purpose.